Thinking of moving to Oklahoma City? Well, you're in the right place. Aside from learning about the different suburbs, cost of living, or other deciding factors, sometimes you just want to know, what's the weird stuff? Or at least some of the interesting facts about the city that nobody talks about. Well, today, that's exactly what we're discussing about OKC and Oklahoma in general. So sit back, relax, and have a little fun. Thanks so much for joining me here today. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Here, we talk about life here in Oklahoma City and its surrounding suburbs, and today we are going to do that, but also try to keep things fun and entertaining. So what that means is I'm likely going to share some things that might throw you off guard about Oklahoma City and Oklahoma in general. Things like everyday inventions that you didn't know came from Oklahoma, or rules about intimacy with your partner, or this crazy idea that made shopping a little bit easier for everyone around the world. So we're gonna hop into all of that today. But first, if you're thinking of moving to the Oklahoma City area, whether it's in the next few weeks or few months from now, I would absolutely love the opportunity to help make a smooth move right here to OKC. You're gonna find my contact information in the description below, so please feel free to shoot me a call, a text, or an email, or even better, click the link below to schedule a one-on-one video call with me so that we can discuss how I can help you buy that perfect home right here in OKC. All right, now with that said, let's talk about some of the lesser known facts about Oklahoma City. Did you know that tattoos were illegal here in Oklahoma from the year 1963 until 2006? That's right, folks. If you wanted a tattoo up until 2006 of your favorite band's logo, you'd either have to leave the state or roll the dice with Bubba's Basement Ink. Now, I remember growing up here in Oklahoma City, listening to punk rock and skateboarding, and honestly wishing I could get tattoos like all the guys I looked up to. The truth? Well, until 2006, that came with not only the risk of some potentially very bad art, but also the risk of getting tetanus. And so here's a little fun fact about those who have ever been last at something. Oklahoma was, in fact, the very last state in the US to legalize tattoos. We did it, folks! We made it to the finish line, just 43 years behind everyone else. Speaking of things that seem a little out of place, let's talk about some of Oklahoma's quirky laws. For example, did you know that it's illegal to tip over a casket at a funeral here in Oklahoma City? Honestly, same question you probably have right now. Who is tipping over caskets at funerals? But apparently, that means that this was such a concern at some point that they had to institute a law. I mean, I know, we all have that weird uncle, but come on, Gary, control yourself. And here's another one for you. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's illegal to kiss for longer than 3 minutes. Now, that's not a short time for a single kiss. If you're trying to time it, it's about the time that it would take to pop some popcorn in the microwave. So, if you're coming through Oklahoma and you find romance in Tulsa, you better set the timer. Also, ladies, be aware, you can't cut your own hair here without a license, apparently. Also, it's apparently illegal to take a bite out of someone else's hamburger. Maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I kind of agree with that one. Now, sharing is caring here in Oklahoma, but apparently not with hamburgers. Now, if you're curious if we are an attractive bunch here in Oklahoma, don't just take this face as an example. Oklahoma has produced 6 Miss America winners, 3 of which were from right here in Oklahoma City. So yes, it turns out we have some very talented and beautiful people here in Oklahoma. Now, for all you single ladies out there, you might be wondering, does Oklahoma have any male pageant winners? Well, not to my knowledge, and trust me, I've tried. But we do still claim Brad Pitt as our own, so that counts, right? Now, you might not think of Oklahoma City as a hub for celebrities, but honestly, we've got our fair share. Skip Bayless calls this place home, and so does country music legend Vince Gill. And let's not forget another country legend, Garth Brooks, born in Tulsa and grew up right here in the OKC Metro in Yukon. Then there's the Flaming Lips frontman Wayne Coyne, who grew up here and still resides here in Oklahoma City. And like I said, we're still gonna claim Brad Pitt because, well, he was born 45 minutes away from here in Shawnee, and I figured that's close enough. Wayne Coyne actually has a pretty wild setup, by the way. He's got 4 homes on one compound that share one big psychedelic backyard. Rumor has it you may even catch him bathing in the front yard. He even once accidentally shut down an airport by packing a grenade in his luggage. Don't worry, it was inactive and apparently non-explosive, but pretty odd. Just, you know, your typical Oklahoma City celebrity behavior, right? Okay, here's a little Oklahoma City history lesson for you. Oklahoma City was the first major city in the United States to elect a female mayor. That's right. In 1971, Patience Ladding took office and made history here in Oklahoma City. So Patience Ladding paved the way for women in leadership, and Oklahoma City recognized her contribution to history by naming the Patience Ladding Library after her in 2011. So it's a great place to go check out a book or just hang out and feel empowered by a woman who was able to break that glass ceiling at a time when disco was still a thing. Girl power, indeed. Now, let's talk about tall buildings. And no, I'm not talking about my neighbor's rickety treehouse that somehow still hasn't fallen down. I mean, come on, Jeff. It's time we had a conversation. I'm talking about Oklahoma City's plans for the Legends Tower, which would be the tallest building in the United States. And get this, the 5th tallest building in the world. Ambitious, right? And when it gets built, it's going to change the OKC skyline in a big way. Who knows? Maybe we can get an observation deck where you can see like the whole state. Or at the very least, Jeff's treehouse atrocity. Either way, I'm pumped. Moving on to the serious stuff, let's talk about business. Oklahoma City has consistently been ranked one of the best cities in the United States to start a business, with a corporate tax rate of only 4%, which is a full percent below the national average. And low in corporation fees, this place really is a haven for those with an entrepreneurial itch. Also, OKC is the 8th most affordable city in the US for hiring employees. So if you've got that side hustle idea that your family has always told you was a little weird, and trust me, I understand, this just might be the city for you to bring that to life. Okay, did you know that the yield sign was invented in Oklahoma? I know, truth be told, I was just as surprised as you are. Officer Clinton Riggs from Tulsa designed and tested the first yield signs going back to the 1950s, because apparently people had a hard time following the right-of-way rules. Shocker. And let me tell you, that yield sign worked so well, it went global. So, think about it, next time you're yielding instead of slamming into traffic, you've got an Oklahoma police officer to thank. Now here's one that might surprise you. Oklahoma City wasn't always the capital of Oklahoma. When Oklahoma became a U.S. territory in 1890, the small town of Guthrie became its first capital. And Guthrie held on to those reins until 1910, until OKC came in and took the reins. Now, in my mind, this went down like a Wild West hostile takeover, or at the very least, like the Biff saloon scene in Back to the Future 3. But in any case, Guthrie, we love you, but the big city's calling the shots now. Now, if you love a good Target run as much as I do, here's a fun one. OKC was the birthplace of the shopping cart. Going back to the 1930s, a grocery store owner by the name of Sylvan Goldman figured something pretty interesting out. Turns out people shop more and longer if they didn't have to carry around the items themselves. Brilliant. The first carts were basically a chair on wheels, which I think we can all agree is kind of like the Flintstones version of what we have today. But I'd like to give a heartfelt thank you to Sylvan for saving my arms and legs from countless squats carrying around groceries. Now, on a more serious note, if you're really looking to move to the Oklahoma City area and you'd like to know what's the best suburb for you, I highly recommend that you check out this video right here. And as always, guys, until next time, I certainly hope to see you soon. See ya.